Chris Level here with another edition of Patriot Talk. My man Joe Sexton directly to my left. As always, Colton Coons taking care of us behind the camera most of the time. But usually he does good work, as my man Joe Sexton did last Friday night with a big district win, district opener. Last week it was all about fresh start and trying to get your players to understand that everything that they'd done to this point kind of led to then. And it wasn't easy. Oh, no. It was wildly entertaining, and if you left early, you missed a lot. But it all equals
a heck of a finish.
Yeah, right. A 43-40 win over Perryton last week, and it improves. It's now you're tied for first in the district with that.
It's a good place to be.
I want to know. Absolutely, it is. Absolutely, it is. You were missing a ton of kids last week for various reasons, but you had a lot of kids step up in this game in different roles, and just kind of take me through the dynamic as you went through that game and all the ebbs and flows.
You know, I think we were missing 8. 6 of those were some of our juniors, and then we had a freshman out, and then we had a sophomore out. So we were 8 short last week, and we were kind of worried about depth, but I'd say we took care of that pretty good. The kids just keep coming. They just keep playing hard, and it was a fun game. I think one of the first things that I told them after the game was like, man, I don't know if my old ticker can take too many of these things, because that was a heck of a finish, and just the way they came back. 2 scores down with about 9 minutes left, and then, looking at their faces on the sideline, there was no worry, there was no panic. They just went out and took care of business, and we had 2 super huge turnovers
takeaways, man.
That just for the most part, their offense was clicking on all cylinders, and we had a hard time, and then all of a sudden, fourth quarter, we get two interceptions, and here we go, back in business.
There's so many things to get into here. Let's just we'll just skip to the part about the takeaways right there. That's been a common theme with Coach Tolliver's defense in these 2 wins. I guess, what is that, 8 takeaways in those 2 games? Right. 6 of them against Fort Stockton, 2 of them. But do you have any rhyme or reason on the timeliness of said turnovers? Because one ends the game the other night with Jackson Thomas. I'm remembering that correctly. Jackson Thomas ends it, and then the other one in the red zone. And I didn't know if I agreed with what Perryton was trying to do and throw it at the time that they were, but a bit of an underthrown ball, and Luke Livingston picked it up.
Oh, he made a great break on the football, and I was expecting quarterback run coming out there again, because we were having a hard time stopping their quarterback. Great athlete, he's was a pretty special player.
He was one of the best players I've seen. Yeah,
and,
I agree.
And just being
as a sophomore,
I mean, that's pretty crazy. But then I was expecting quarterback run, and then when I saw him drop back and throw it, and Luke just stepped right in front of it, and really turned to, it's kind of funny how one team can have all the momentum, and then just one play like that, and you can just feel it turn.
Momentum's a real thing.
It is. Yeah. And then, now your kids have confidence, and then I think we went right down and scored, and it was big. And then, like you were talking about, Jackson Thomas into the game with one, and he made a great play on the ball to pull it in, and boy, the place went crazy after that.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. And because of some guys missing, I think you found a pretty good combination of some skill players, because everybody's coming into these games saying we're going to try to stop the run. We're not going to let you run the ball. And so in both of these wins, the common theme is like, okay, well, we're just going to have to throw the dang thing. And I think Colton Bouchard is starting to grow up a little bit and mature, and you can see his game is developing, and you're starting to see some of these targets emerge. Levi Walker had a big game. Pierce Froney had a big game, but really this one was about Coleman Hendricks.
Coleman was
red zone target, man.
Well, Colton really likes throwing it 6'5" over there.
Well, because you don't have to make a perfect throw.
Right.
That's why tall guys play first base.
Right. Well, he made some plays on some footballs that I didn't think that those passes were going to be completed, but he went low to get one. He
caught a tipped one.
Caught a tipped one. And a lot of guys probably would have given up on that and just think, oh, it's tipped. But, he kept the play alive, pulled it in. And the one down, I guess the final touchdown that we had, was a little bit low, and he went to get it. And so I don't think there's any place that you can put it where he can't go get it.
Yeah, and he was isolated in a one-on-one situation, major height advantage.
That was one of the things, I walked by, heard Coach Newton, with the play call, and I was like, okay, what's our matchup like? And I'm looking at, there's 6'5" on 5'6", something like that, and I'm thinking, I like this matchup. And
throw it to him. Yeah.
Throw it to that big guy over there.
That's right. But fun to see him really emerge. He's just a freshman. Right. Heck of a short yardage, down the field, red zone threat, all the above. Kind of fun to see. And then speak to me about Colton a little bit, because he has struggled with accuracy at times, but I think when he just kind of rears back and just gets to hey man, let's just throw it, and he's much better, and it certainly helps when you've got bigger guys throwing it to.
Well, when you're trying to aim anything and be so careful,
I think
early Colton was really trying to just make a perfect throw every time and try to be so careful and not throw it behind, don't throw it ahead, don't throw it here, don't throw it there. And the last few weeks, man, he's done an awesome job. Just, I think I might have squeezed his neck a little too hard after the ball game, because, man, I was so happy for that kid. And he just was, you're right, when he just rears back and slings it,
he can spin it, for sure.
And really, that's what we want. He can. He can do whatever he wants to do with that football.
And I think what it's doing, too, it's showing that, and teams may come in going, we're going to try to take this away or whatever, but it's now you've got a different recipe on how you can get to a win.
Right.
If teams want to load up and, because that's how you've won both of your games, and if teams want to go, okay, let's play some coverage, then that's when Talon and Chadwick and some of these other guys start to enter the picture. So kind of fun. But it all equals 1-0 in district. Obviously, Lubbock Estacado had won the night before, so those two teams sit atop the district standings at 1-0. And there's only 4 of these district games, folks. One of them's already over with. You're going to play your second one in Borger.
Borger, America.
Borger, America. The Bulldogs. Weather is changing. I don't know what you'll encounter on Friday night in Borger. Maybe a little chillier temperature, maybe a little wind, maybe a little precip. Not real sure, but that's kind of
that's what I like.
Borderline Canada when you get further up north right there.
That's what I really like about our team right now. I don't feel like we're one-dimensional at all.
Oh, okay. Back to that. Yeah.
So if we get weather, it's all right.
Bring it on. Okay.
Bring it on.
Yeah. Take me through Borger, though. I mean, you grew up in Perryton. We talked about that last week. But how familiar are you with them and their history? And
well, they've had
fairly new stadium.
Right.
I think,
it's probably, I don't know.
Well, I say fairly new, but
5-6 years old, something like that.
Yeah.
So that's really new. They've had a great history. They've always had some really good teams up there. Sure, you remember the name Tony Tillman. Mm-hmm. I think he went to OU and played, but he was from Borger, and so they've always had some really good athletes in Borger, and just the tradition that they've had up there kind of continues just a little bit. And so the team that they have this year, they have a defensive lineman who's kind of the blue collar kind of kid. He plays hard. He's number 68, and he's going to be a handful for us to block. He's really good. He was our district defensive MVP.
And his name's Maverick.
Maverick, yes. And
yeah.
Maverick, he plays like a Maverick. He's going to be hard to stop sometimes.
Okay.
And so that's going to be our focus, is trying not to let him disrupt too much of what we're trying to do.
Okay. Offensively, they kind of spread it out a little bit. And
we're going to see doubles and trips and, pretty much everything that we've seen the last few weeks.
Similar to what you've seen.
Right.
They were off last week, so each week there's one of these teams in this district that is in a bye. They start out district race with a bye week, so they get to sit back and maybe watch and learn more about the old Liberty Patriots. Do you? I guess you can overthink this, but do you expect to see anything different with an extra?
Well, you always wonder about that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you've watched. I guess I don't know how many games that we've actually watched that they've played, and pretty much been the same thing. But then in the back of your mind is like, all right, what are we going to come up against this week?
Mm-hmm.
What's it going to look like? You know, when a team's had 2 weeks off or a week off, you never know what kind of wrinkles they're going to throw at us, and we've just got to be ready to adjust and move on.
And you'll do the same thing. Yeah, you'll do the same. What's the? I mean, you're obviously well versed in these lengthy road trips. Is there any concern there?
No,
Okay.
no, not a bit.
And none of them have been up north. They've all been in different directions and all that. But this will be and again, this is the most important one. This is the most important lengthy road trip that any of these kids have made, because this one counts, and it's obviously district standings on the line.
You know, that's why we went so many of those far off places last year that we traveled to, you know, just to get us ready for nights like this. And somebody asked me this morning if I was worried about driving that far. I'm like, no, not a bit.
Speaking of bye weeks, yours will be next week,
and it is going to come at a great time.
Yeah, how will you handle?
You know,
not just you, but I mean team and
right.
Just you
so
know.
For the most part, you know, we try to back off of our after-school stuff and just try to give the kids some just recovery time. You know, it's been a grind since August 5th, which seems like about a week ago. But
also probably feels like 4 months ago too. Yeah,
you know, so we're going to give them some time to recover and time to go home at 4 o'clock like everybody else gets to some.
Okay.
Our weight room just got finished this morning or this afternoon, so we will take advantage of that weight room, and I'm sure Coach Q is sitting someplace right now planning workouts with all his new gadgets that we're gonna break out.
Okay.
So next week's just going to be a kind of a rest and recovery, and you know, we'll start talking about Estacado just a little bit and start getting ready for the Matadors.
Okay. Okay. Now the fun portion.
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah. So we will push out the stream link that the folks in Borger are putting together. But if you can't watch it or you're not going to be there, 93.1 Yes FM. You'll have Colt Rogers, Branson Nash, Macy Maynard on the call, along with I think Paul Enlow as well. Pre-game coverage starts at 6:30. Kickoff at 7 o'clock. There's an app you can get on your phone if you're not driving around. You just want to listen to Yes FM 93.1. There's an app there, and you can listen to it live that way as well. But we'll push out the streaming information as well. Okay. With Coleman Hendricks, your what I'm going to just term a kind of a tight end.
Right.
Your three favorite tight ends, because he had 3 touchdown catches, but your 3 favorite tight ends of all time.
I think, you know, my first one probably got to be Jason Witten.
Okay.
You know,
I could have guessed that you would say that.
yeah. Well, you know, there's really the only ones that I get to watch that much of.
Can you name me other Dallas Cowboy tight ends?
Jay Novacek.
Okay, keep going.
I'm gonna go way back. Remember a guy named Billy Joe Dupree?
I do. I thought I might get you with that one.
Nope. I remember that one. So those were pretty good.
I wrote another one down. You were even. I think this would have been after Billy Joe Dupree. Do you remember? War number 84. Doug Cosby.
Doug Cosby. Yeah, that was kind of pre-Novacek, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Doug Cosby. Yeah, and then obviously Jason Witten, and you had Jay Novacek. And
you know, we actually got a call from Jason Witten.
I know, wanting to schedule you. That's right. So all Cowboys tight ends, those are your favorite? You don't have any other favorites from outside the deal, or just guys you just enjoyed watching play? Or
you know, the guy that used to play for the Chiefs wasn't too bad.
Tony Gonzalez?
Tony Gonzalez.
The guy that's playing for the Chiefs now is not bad either.
No.
I love it. See what Joe is telling you right there. Coach Sexton is telling you he's not a Swiftie. He's just like he's not. Swiftie. Yeah, that's right. I love it.
Not a Swiftie. You know, when
I could see how
I turn on a football game,
I know
I want to watch a football game.
Travis Kelce's very good. I could see how some of the other stuff maybe has turned some people off.
Right.
Antonio Gates. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones that have been. Or Rob Gronkowski.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been some really good ones in recent years.
I think what I liked about
Gronk.
Jason Witten is he was quiet.
Yeah, and
You know, he just took care of business. He was a team leader. But he wasn't drama. You know, there was no drama.
it's also a little look behind the curtain there as it relates to those particular tight end in Kansas City, I think. Okay, so there's that. You got some tight end flavor there. Interested there. Now this one's my favorite for you here. You mentioned George Strait the other day as like a favorite artist. Your 3 favorite pregame songs.
Pregame song.
Like something
that I like to listen to,
that gets you, that you feel like, okay, I want to hear this. It gets me in the right mindset. It clears my brain. It you know, whatever.
You know, right before kickoff.
And this doesn't need to be everybody hearing it. Maybe just you or whatever.
You know, going back quite a few years, when Coach Winchie was on the football staff, we listened to, you know, Coach Darden. We had Dwight Yoakam.
Yeah, we've talked about this.
So
yes.
I have kind of continued that. Just like when we come in and everybody gets a drink and goes to the bathroom and all that kind of stuff, I'll go just real quick, grab a drink in my office and just turn on some Dwight Yoakam. Just to
reset the
just kind of keep it going. And it doesn't really matter what it is. There's not really one song. I have a bunch of them on my phone, and I'll just hit it, and whatever pops up. So pretty much any Dwight Yoakam's pretty good with me.
Okay, after a win on a Friday night, and
I'll go ahead and say "You Are My Sunshine" is not one of them that I like to listen to. I don't know how that got on there last time.
Okay, are you kidding me? "You Are My Sunshine" was what?
Somehow that got on our playlist against Fort Stockton. And Chris, you are my sunshine.
Oh my! I'm glad I didn't hear that. That would have been oh my! It's somebody's idea of a joke, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know what it was.
Okay. Okay. After a big win on a Friday night, it's time to decompress and shut down. I know what your meal of choice was after the Perryton win, but what's your favorite post-game victory meal when it's all the work is done, we got the result we wanted, I just want to sit here and chill? Your go-to is
nachos.
Just chips and like bad cheese, or what do you mean?
No, I gotta have all the stuff on there. I like
nachos or something. Okay.
Yeah, I gotta have some guacamole and some good
nachos,
good salsa.
I gotta tell you, I thought you'd say pizza or like a burger or
no, I like nachos.
Watermelon with tahini on it. I don't know what I thought you'd say, but nachos was not.
We're kind of out of watermelon season.
Okay,
so
I know.
Kind of had to back off that. Yeah. You know, last week. After Perryton, we had some tacos, which was pretty good.
Sure,
I like some nachos.
Nachos. Okay, the more you know. And then the last one, we're going to try to let people get a glimpse of your softer side here.
Is there such a side?
I don't know. We're going to try to.
Okay, let's see.
We've all seen these movies. I think you've got a daughter. You've got but. Favorite 3 animated movies, and some of these movies are gold. Like the Pixar or the Disney. It's like adults can go see them, and it's more than normal.
Sure.
Famous folks voice over the characters and all that. But do you have 3 favorite animated?
Number one's got to be Aladdin.
Okay. See, that's a Robin Williams is in that one.
And that's just because I love Robin Williams.
And he's stellar. He's one of the funniest people that's alive.
That was a good one.
Not alive, but that ever lived.
One of the ones that I watched with my daughter all the time was
this is what I'm asking you.
Finding Nemo.
Okay.
I don't know how many DVDs we wore out watching that one. And then, what was the other one?
Oh man, you got Toy Story, you got Cars, you got Lion King.
That's one. Cars. I like Cars.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
That's
solid.
Was good
that's
too.
solid work. See, I you sitting there watching Aladdin and giggling.
Oh, that's so good. Every time you see it, you see something like, man, I didn't see that the first time. I didn't hear that the first time. So,
I love it.
With Robin Williams, the same thing. You just never knew really what he was gonna come
he's
up
gonna
with.
say.
You know, and I heard during that movie a lot of that stuff that he did was just
Ad-lib.
kind of just made it up as he went.
I'm not shocked.
Yeah.
He was a genius. Yeah. Okay, well that's good stuff, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate your list. That was well thought out. I thought you'd have something good. I figure you were gonna say that Frozen was your go-to, like the soundtrack there and all that stuff.
No, probably not.
Okay, got it. All right.
No Frozen here.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Well, again, Friday night, Borger, Texas, 7 o'clock. Pregame coverage will start at 6:30. 93.1 Yes FM. And I'm not sure if we'll be here next week or not with the bye week. We'll figure something out. Maybe we'll get Joe up here and talk about, I don't know, animated movies or something. I don't know. We'll see. But
I'll be ready.
For Colton Coons, for Joe Sexton, this is Chris Lovell. It's been another edition of Patriot Talk.